role is essential in creating a one-of-a-kind experience. For information on openings and job fairs, go to warhorsecasino.com.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com.
On the internet.
KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket. It's time to go one-on-one with DP. Coming at you live from the Coppel Chevrolet GMC studios. Here is your host, Derek Pearson. Brought to you by Mary Ellen's Food for the Soul on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Happy Friday, everybody. Thank you for sitting in. One-on-one, 93.7 The Ticket. I appreciate you guys. 424-645-5685. Now get ready because your voice is needed. You can text in the Starter Heyman text line, call in the Honda Lincoln hotline. Have at it. We'll do this. Live video stream, Starter Heyman's live video stream, Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter Live. Get at it. We're going to have some fun. I wanted to get away. We got the rest of the day. Folks will take you through their Husker talk. And want to do that. But I wanted to have some fun, some silliness, some ranting and raving. It's been a move on social media. Folks talking about, WWE, greatest wrestlers, that sort of thing. And I wanted to kind of offshoot that because they did a feature on rivalries, greatest rivalries. I think for all the gimmicks, some of the best gimmicks put together in one place. That's how you can kind of define the rivalry, is that it changed how business was being done. It turned somebody into a greater thing, a greater version of it, or turned both of them into a greater thing. So folks were talking about, if you're going to do that, you have to determine who the greatest wrestler of all time is. Well, the greatest wrestler of all time is Andre the Giant. Everybody you talk Flair, you talk Dusty Rhodes, you talk Hulk Hogan, you talk Nick Bockwinkel, et cetera, et cetera. Stone Cold Steve Austin, The Rock, right? I mean, I think I just named 8 of the top 10 all time. Right? In fairness, right? Probably could add Brock Lesnar and Kurt Angle, or Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns. John Cena has to be a part of it. You're going to leave some of them out.
Triple H.
You're going to leave.
Did you say Flair?
Yeah, you're going to leave somebody out.
You definitely are
in the conversation. If you just had a top 10, you're going to leave somebody out. But for me, again, when you start having these all-time conversations, can you talk pro wrestling and not talk about these people? Right? You have to talk about Andre. You have to talk about Hogan. You have to talk about Flair. You have to talk about The Rock, Stone Cold, because he changed the way business is being done. Cena, who carried it for a long time, and now Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar are carrying it. But where do they fall in compared to John Cena, etc.? So we'll have some fun with it. I was trying to then determine what would define it as the best ever rivalry. Right? Has to be different.
Mm-hmm.
Has to have them at their best for each other. They had to do something different.
You gotta have
innovative.
At least one memorable moment.
Like there's a moment, right? There's a moment. Taker, yep, Undertaker. Taker's in the top 5. No matter how you look at it, Taker's in the top 5.
Yeah.
Like you got to remove folks from it. Like I dig that. Well done, Ray, Tater, both of y'all. Thomas and Lincoln says Hardys and the Hardys and Dudleys, Edge and Christian. Yeah, it was pretty good. Rock and Austin are in this list. Rock and Austin changed how this worked. Eric says Andre had a gimmick, does not make him great. Yeah, I'm coming at you, DP. He says, in my opinion, I'm voting for Bret Hart. Hart is the best wrestler. As the best technical wrestler, yes. Bret Hart as a technical wrestler. But Andre was not a gimmick. Andre could beat everybody up whenever he wanted.
You can't,
for as long as he wanted.
You can't gimmick that size.
You can't gimmick what Andre was. And the thing about it was, like, I was joking with Chris Raff about it, right? And it was, here's Andre and Hogan. But this is how great Andre was. Hogan had to ask Andre permission to do anything that he was going to do in their match. And as a matter of fact, when he went to the ring that night, he was afraid that Andre wasn't going to let him win. Like, he was afraid that at some point, Andre was just going to go, nope.
You know what? I changed my mind.
No, that was the greatest receipt giver in the history of pro wrestling was Andre the Giant, because nobody could handle him. Nobody could handle him. I think he was slammed like 3 or 4 times in his career. Right? 3 or 4 times in his career. And by permission in each one. Like, he had to get permission. Somebody tried to slam him. I forget who it was, and they would tell the story of Andre, them trying to slam Andre without his permission. And Andre beat the brakes off of him. Rico, he literally just stood in the ring, he wrapped the guy's arms up in the rope so he couldn't defend himself, and then just proceeded to 5-slap him into submission.
You got to follow the rules when you wrestle somebody like that.
Right? You know what, Willie? That's such a great take. He said, I'm old school. Rufus R. Jones and Bulldog Bob Brown. Like, I didn't want it to just be WWE, because there were great rivalries outside. The American Wrestling, AWA, and a texter just is on point with it, that the Von Erichs were amazing. And their battles with Bockwinkel and company were just top level. It was top level. I mean, it was amazing. Amazing. Daniel Bryan's a great technical wrestler, but he's not at the ilk of Bret Hart. I go back to, who may have been? Ted DiBiase may have been the best technical wrestler. Ted DiBiase would deliver retribution through wrestling. But and then, of course, the guy that creates controversy when you talk about it. But Chris Benoit was such a great technical wrestler. As a matter of fact, that was part of the problem, is that we used to watch, whenever we watched Chris Benoit wrestle, we always said, he doesn't know it's not real. Like, he wrestles, it was like, oh, Benoit's out there just thinking he's fighting for his life.
Yeah.
Like, he's out there literally just like, hey, man, this is what I'm going to do. Like, this is the thing. Yeah, and regional space matters, because if you were back east versus Midwest versus the Northwest versus Texas had its own, and then you can go into Mexico and it's a whole other thing.
Oh, yeah.
Mask battles are a part of, like, it was just a thing, right? It was just a thing.
Rey Mysterio and Eddie Guerrero were my guys.
Yeah, I mean, because you wanted the little guys. I don't know how you put them in that space without, you got to consider like guys like Dean Malenko, the little guys in wrestling. Mm-hmm. But it's hard to put them in the greatest rivalries, because little guys didn't have the traction. Eddie Guerrero was spectacular, because he brought the lucha libre Mexican style of wrestling into the mainstream, and then added the Canadian grappler type of wrestling as well. So it's through all of it. Yeah, Greg Gagne and Jumpin' Jim were a great tag team, but I don't know that they had a rivalry that carried them all. Right, you're right, Clayton John. He was from Omaha. $1 Million Man Ted DiBiase is from Omaha.
For that small stretch, Triple H and Shawn Michaels.
Well, this is the measuring stick. So I asked you to pull up a clip, because this sets the tone for a rivalry and what it means. Rico, if you would, please.
Look at this! Oh, you're kidding me. Michaels, are you going to try to beat Bret Hart with a sharpshooter? Yes, he is! Are you kidding me?
Now, pause there. Pause there for a second. Because, first of all,
The ref got out of that ring so fast.
That's the Montreal Screwjob, which is the rivalry of where Shawn Michael and Bret Hart actually don't like each other. Now, the best rivalries have a bit of that flavor where in real life, the two guys don't like each other. And there's some resentment that shows up. And here's the thing. There's moments in them where you know that Bret Hart just kicked Shawn Michaels because it mattered, right? And this thing was so bad that Bret he spit in the owner's face.
They don't like each other, but at the same time, like he's doing that and the ref calls it and is running out and Shawn like stops and like kind of bends over and he like it looks like he's looking at Bret like what just happened?
Like I didn't know this was gonna happen.
And then everybody's at the side of the ring. Vince is right there. You've got security.
Well,
like everybody in the crowd and
brothers there, right?
The first row of the crowd stood up immediately.
Well, because they knew the story behind it was that Bret was going to leave to go to WCW, but he was the champion, and the fear was you did not want your championship belt to end up on the other show.
Yep.
And it was a big rivalry at that moment, right? So as they went through it, then they told him, he says, listen, I do not want to lose the belt to Shawn in my hometown, right? In Canada. Don't make me do this. And they had offered other people. And then it was how it was. Well, the thing is that they got him in the sharpshooter, which was Bret's hold, and it was disrespectful. And they went through it. And so let's go to the Honda Lincoln Hotline. Outdoors, Kevin wants to call. Kevin, what's up, man?
Hey, how about Sting and Flair, their rivalries? And also, you had Sid Vicious. He was a beast. But I'll hang up and listen. Thanks.
Yeah, and here's what happens when you start having these conversations, because you could put Hulk Hogan's, because of the length of his run, he had rivalries
Everyone.
with several, like him and Macho. Is it him and Macho? Is it him and Ultimate Warrior? Is it Hogan and Andre? Is it Hogan? Like you got to go through.
Dang.
Flair, is it Flair and Bockwinkel? Is it Flair with Steamboat? Is it Flair with Sting? Is it Flair with Dusty Rhodes? Is it Flair with Harley Race?
I think Flair had a rivalry with everybody.
Right. So you got to pick which one. And then you go Harley Race. Okay. So Harley Race was the guy. He had rivalries, like his battles with Flair were exceptional. Then you have to think past regional rivalries and then national and worldwide rivalries, where there were times when if Harley Race was the NWA champion, he only had to face NWA challengers until he was brought into a different space to take on their best. Him going to New York and taking on Bob Backlund, right? It was amazing. But Bob Backlund's rivalry with superstar Billy Graham was epic. It just wasn't good as Billy Graham versus Bruno Sammartino. Sting, to me, the epic Sting rivalry is Sting versus Hollywood Hogan. Not Hulk Hogan, but NWO Blackbeard Hogan versus Sting. Like that's a great rivalry.
That's a good one.
Right? So then you have to make the decisions.
The different versions of Hogan.
Right?
The different versions of wrestlers is hilarious.
Right. Because this is the thing for guys. There's a handful of wrestlers who were unique to themselves all the time. And there are very few of them. Rick Steamboat was Rick Steamboat all the time. They tried to change him into the Dragon, which I hated it. I hated
Ricky the Dragon Steamboat.
I hated that.
That's how I remember him.
Well, no, he was in the NWO. He was Ricky the Dragon Steamboat, but WWE turned him into the Dragon.
Oh, just the Dragon.
Just the Dragon, where he had the full dress.
I don't remember.
And I didn't like any of that. Like I didn't like any. It wasn't necessary. Rick Steamboat. People said that John Cena was the greatest face of all time. The guy who was never a bad guy. John Cena was never a bad guy.
He wasn't.
He was never a bad guy. But the greatest
Those
face
jean shorts were bad.
Oh, it's
But
George.
he was never a bad guy.
Look, and to
They
be
were
fair,
so long.
but remember there were several versions of John Cena because early Cena was my dude.
Early
Cena was my guy.
Different.
Right?
Early Cena was
because he'd come on give
freestyle.
He would come on and give you the hip hop freestyle, and you go, okay.
I saw one of his freestyle disses. There was like 5 people in the ring, and he was just doing little freestyles for all of them. And I'm like, I forget about this Cena, but man,
well, one because he had the best throwback jerseys. Ever.
Yes,
his jersey collection was fire,
and he had the chain. And when he won the championship, he turned it into the spinner.
The spinner. But he also had the best shoe game.
He did.
Because he actually wore like Air 1s and Jordans in ring to battle.
I'm like, how are you wrestling? First off, in those just extra large jean parachutes.
Right. Like,
Jordans.
how is that?
Like,
how is that possible? How is that possible, man? That's fantastic. Jason, we've said if you just jump on the app, but you can jump on YouTube. And you can jump on Facebook and you can hear everything just as clear as day. Jake the Snake and Brutus the Barber Beefcake was a great one. Ravish and Rick Rude, right? That's a thing. And then it becomes people like Undertaker. Now, think about this. Undertaker came in and beat Hogan. He took the title from Hogan at the top. And then ran through everybody. Now, people want to say that the greatest Undertaker rivalry was Kane. Some will say that it was
the brothers.
But to me, the greatest Undertaker rivalry was Mankind. Because those are the 2 dark shows where he at WrestleMania where he threw him off the top of the cage.
You're right.
Like he power slammed him through the fence down onto the mat. Right? Like
how Mankind isn't dead, I have no idea.
They really didn't know. Like they really didn't know.
How Mick Foley did not die. I'm very confused.
They didn't know. Now, I want to go back to the clip from Screwjob, and I want you to back it up 15 seconds, right? Back it up 15 seconds and then play it again. Because there's a thing that happens to wrestling fans. And it happens when you play the clip. So play the clip.
Look at this! Oh, you're kidding me. Marcus, are you going to try to beat Bret Hart with a sharpshooter? Yes, he is! Are you kidding me?
It's the music!
I know I'm sexy.
Come on! And every dude who was a HBK fan is doing the dance.
Oh, yeah. And then you do the pose.
Right? You hit you spread it out and then you hit the pose.
I just saw Brett spit in Vince's face.
Oh, right.
And he just turns around and Vince just wipes it away. Doesn't even like.
Well, because he said
Vince knows.
Right. And so that's a moment and where they went into the back, right? So actually Bret Hart and Jim Neidhart came out to the ring. And then they were family. So I mean, Bret Hart they were brothers, and then Neidhart was an in-law. So he married a Hart daughter. And he came to the ring and they were trying to explain this as, man, this is dirty. Because they had talked about this. They had 5 meetings that day about how this was not going to go down. Like, here's the stuff you're not going to do. And of course, Vince McMahon went on and did exactly what he said he was going to do. Yeah. But they go back to the locker room, and the first thing is that Bret confronts Shawn. Like, did you know? And Shawn lied to him and said, no, I didn't know. I didn't know. But he did. He did. He absolutely did. And that's the way it worked. But then they go into the locker room, and Vince is back in the hub, and he's kind of sitting there, and he looks at Bret. And he says to Bret, you get one punch. You get one punch. And Bret Hart knocks Vince McMahon to the ground with a right hand. And then he leaves and then shows up on TBS the next night. So In the top of the realm of this thing is when you talk about rivalries, it's the Montreal Screwjob is the standard.
Yeah.
It's the standard for what a rivalry is. And I want to go through several of these, and you guys can tell me what that is, right? You have to he says you have to watch show WWE. Yeah, the legends are doing their thing. One, it's great stuff on WWE put together a show where they're trying to find the iconic outfits.
Oh yeah, you told me about that.
Right?
They just like some people just have them, like they bought them in like an auction or something, and they're going around trying to find them. That's awesome.
Yeah, well, they wanted
to imagine like
they wanted to find Undertaker's first outfit. So when he made his debut, because collectors, wrestling memorabilia collectors are notorious and they're hounds. Like I used to be one of them, so I can tell you like that. I once had a Ric Flair robe, like an actual robe that he wore, not in a championship match, but he wore it on TV. And when he was my neighbor, like, so I'll close this segment with this. So imagine being able to. Okay, how am I going to tell this?
Yeah, I was wondering.
I'm
going
going to tell this story. Okay, so my house was the house that Flair used to throw parties.
Okay,
and not have his wife blame him for throwing parties.
All right.
So he would set up these parties, but the parties would be at my house, at my pool. But he's like, hey, I'm going over. I'm just going over there. Like, I'm just going to hang out, acting like, well, there's nothing really going on. I'm just going to go hang out over there. And turns out he's invited like 100 people and they're going to be over there. But one night, wifey was like, no, she walked across the street and was like, what is going on? And there's Nate being Nate. Like, he's being full on Nate. He does not have a robe on.
That's not surprising.
Well, yeah, he doesn't have a robe on. And wifey's like, well, what's going on? And, I fell on the grenade. Like, I'm his keeper. Okay, cool. But as a payback, like, I'm like, hey, bro, like, seriously, come on, man. I get to go into his closet. Now,
how was that?
Now, let me exhale.
Was it like Nirvana?
It's like, it's like going to Paisley Park and seeing all of Prince's concert outfits that you see in videos and stuff like that. Like, you're seeing all this, like all this stuff. And then there's a room for the wrestling boots, the 200 pair of RF, right? RF wrestling boots. Every color, every fabric, every length.
Anything you could imagine.
Right? Some of them still have blood on them.
Beautiful.
Some of them still had blood on, right? So he's got the ones where he won championships, where he lost championships. He's got the first pair that he got that he borrowed from Dusty Rhodes. He's got a pair, like literally, like it's the full thing. And he's got the trunks, right? And it's different ones. And he had the pink ones and the powder blue ones. And you go through the full scale. And then there are the robes. The robes. And those
are iconic.
At $10,000 a pop, to say that he had 150 robes, and he used it.
Seems low.
They were like credit cards for him. Like, if he wanted anything, like if he wanted Super Bowl tickets,
he was like, "Here you go. Here's a robe."
What do you want to do? He had 70-something championship belts, right? And you just stand in the middle of it, and you get dizzy and lightheaded. And then there's another whole walk-in closet for all the suits. And
he did wear the hell out of a suit.
Boy. So yeah, there's there's so much to this.
Shout out to Nate.
We'll throw it to break. We'll come back. We'll get into the 10. We'll get a couple of more moments. You guys feel free. Text in what you give me, one rivalry that you think deserves a shout out and deserves to be in the top 10, but you only get one. You only get one. Text me those now, and we'll talk about it when we come back.
Download our app by searching 93.7 The Ticket in your app store. You're listening to One-on-One with DP on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
At Allo, we think you deserve the fiber things in life, like binging your favorite TV shows and movies buffer-free, next level, lag-free gaming, and video calls without frozen faces. So say goodbye to lag and buffering and hello to super fast fiber internet with dedicated 24/7 support for total peace of mind. Plus, no hidden fees, no expiration dates, and no contracts, ever. From dependable service to exceptional support, experience the fiber things with Allo. Go to allofiber.com/fiberthings and switch today.
Hi, this is Kurt, your shop manager at A1 Automotive here in downtown Lincoln. My promise to you is this: you won't find another automotive repair facility that genuinely cares about you and your vehicle. Our service is outstanding and our customer service is better. Please give me a call for all your automotive repair questions and needs. Call me at 402-477-4660. We were built on small town values, and that shows in how we treat others. A1 Automotive, always honest answers.
Early break with Sip and Jake.
You look at those big tackles they have mammoth tackles. Neither of those guys are particularly nimble. Bryce Benhart is never going to be confused with Allen Iverson.
No, I don't think that he will. That's the first time in history and forever going forward that Allen Iverson be in the same sentence as Bryce Benhart.
They better be able to mash.
Early break with Sip and Jake from 6 to 8 every weekday morning.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Coppell Chevrolet, GMC, and things are Cookeville. Right now, our pre-owned sales are off the charts, and we have loaded up the lots full of inventory. We've got a great supply of Sierras, Silverados, Tahoes, Yukons, and crossovers. Plus, we've got a great supply of back-to-school cars just in time for the big day. Don't forget about all of those new 2022 and 2023 units arriving every day as well. So please take that short, money-saving drive down 144th Street or shop online at CoppellCars.com. You'll be glad you did.
Empire Fence and Netting in Waverly is now hiring for several positions. They're looking for a fence installer for both commercial and residential, for local projects, and ones that require travel. They also have openings for operators, dirt work, welding positions, and applicants with CDLs are very desirable. If you're looking for a locally operated business that provides excellent work for customers and great benefits and care for its employees, email info@empire-fence.com or give them a call at 402-682-7658. Empire Fence and Netting.
Rico here with HIS Auto Care at 70th and Van Dorn, letting you know HIS is a great place to bring your vehicle for service. With superior service bumper to bumper, we'll treat your vehicle like it's your mother's. Doesn't get any better than that. So call 402-488-8934 and HIS Auto will make you glad you did. 5% off, mention this ad, and for sure your mother will be proud you called. 402-488-8934, HIS Auto Care, 70th and Van Dorn. God bless you.
Imagine your next staff meeting. Now imagine your next staff meeting with a side of ribs. Your next client presentation, or that same client presentation with brisket and baked beans. It's better, right? Let Mary Ellen's Food for the Soul take care of all of your business catering needs. Feed the staff, cater your next event, whatever you need, Mary Ellen's can help. They can even host your events in their brand new event space located right next to the restaurant. Go see for yourself. Mary Ellen's Food for the Soul at 29th and Pine Lake or online at maryellens.com. Let them fix you a plate.
Start your Sundays off right with Jeff and Nicole Essink on Fitness Fanatics. Jeff and Nicole discuss health and wellness, how to achieve fitness goals, and more through the life of gym owners and gym goers. It's Fitness Fanatics from 9 to 11 a.m. on Sundays on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Warhorse Casino is bringing winning opportunities to Lincoln. Get in on the action at our next job fair, Tuesday, August 9th from 3 to 7 at the RBC Event Space, 5721 Johanna Road. We are hiring trailblazers in every department: beverage servers, slot, custodial, security, and more. Every employee is treated like family, and every role is essential in creating a one-of-a-kind experience. For information on openings and job fairs, go to warhorsecasino.com.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Brought to you by Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing.
Your Lincoln forecast for today, sunny and hot. It'll be a little breezy out there, too. We'll see a high of around 97. Tonight, mostly clear skies. We'll be staying warm with an overnight low of around 79. And tomorrow, mostly sunny skies in the forecast again. Breezy and even hotter tomorrow. We'll see an afternoon high of around 102. I'm meteorologist Kyle Klecker for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
You're listening to One-on-One with DP, sponsored by Mary Ellen's Food for the Soul on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Rico, pay the bill.
We're having way too much fun right now, but just thought I'd let you guys know that this hour of radio is brought to you by Allo because it is the fastest hour in radio. I like my cars, delivery drivers, and internet the same. Fast. I'm talking the kind of fast that delivers equal upload and download speeds, buffer-free streaming, and lag-free gaming. Switch to Allo for 500 meg and 1 gigabit speed options, plus free installations. Always. Call Allo today in Lincoln for residential at 402-480-6550 or for business 402-480-6500 or chat with them online at allofiber.com.
So, to set the table, there are iconic songs that set the pace for how we do what we do. Rico, would you please?
So, you think you're untouchable?
Word life. This is basic thugonomics. This is basic thugonomics. Word
Yes!
life. I'm untouchable, but I'm forcing you to feel me. Word life. This is basic thugonomics. Word life. I'm untouchable, but I'm forcing you to feel me. Whether fighting or
Bring that back! John Cena, Doctor of Thugonomics. Oh, that's so good. Now, hey, now that we got you moving, we might as well stay moving. Rico! Yes! You're dancing wherever you are. You're throwing up the deuces. Come on. Wherever you are.
I don't care who you are. You love the Hardy Boys. You can't lie to me.
Oh, that's
You
so
love
good.
Jeff and Matt.
Oh.
You wanted to wear fishnet as good as they did.
Oh, man, to wear the lime green, man, and get away with
The
it.
weirdest cut beards. Don't care.
Oh, yeah, just shave it whatever way you want. Just shave it whatever way you want. Okay, one more just because. Just because. Stand there, arms extended.
Wait for all the fireworks.
Get yours.
Come on.
Yes! Ah! Hit him with it, Rico! Ah! Yes! Yes! Yes!
I was telling BP, no matter how much I hated Chris Jericho, this intro, it always got me.
Oh, Rico.
Break the wall
Rico,
down.
you see text number 2? You see text number 2? You see text
I
number
have to
2.
look at it. Hold on.
Text number 2 right there. 7754. We need that now.
7754.
Right now.
Okay.
We need that right now.
Okay, give me a second.
We need that right now. It's so good. It's so good. It's so good. Eric says the best rivalry is Michaels versus Hart, but my favorite was probably Edge and Christian versus the Hardy Boys versus the Dudleys. The Dudleys, that's a great intro, and that's a
That is a
great,
good one.
yeah, that's a great one there. Oh, that's such a good one. Raph, you know my heart, man. You know my heart. You know my heart. That we'll get that one in the next one. We'll get that one in the next one. Rico, give me some. We had a listener texted. He wanted the Road Dog.
Oh, you didn't know? Your ass better call somebody.
It's me. It's me. It's the D-O-double-G. I used to steal it and said, "Oh, it's me. It's D with the double E." We have a caller. We need to knock this out. We'll plug it in. Let's go to Honda Lincoln Hotline. Who we got?
It is your wife, Rebecca Pearson.
Uh-oh.
How are you?
Well, I'm fine. I just couldn't resist calling in because I just went to the post office. I was mailing the good Barry Thompson his Beatrice Bakery items, and Terry behind the counter was unbelievably fantastic with customer service, helping me figure out how to mail it, and was so interested in the fruitcake. She was asking lots of questions. She's like, "Oh, where is this fruitcake?" So I told her it was about, from Beatrice Bakery. She's never tried any fruitcake before. She wants to go try some. She lives pretty close to Beatrice, so she can go in the retail store. But her customer service was spectacular. So I just wanted to recognize her publicly for what she is
And
clearly doing.
what's her name again?
While I was standing there.
What's her
Great
name
story.
again? What's her name again?
Terry.
We're going to take care of that because that's good stuff. Again, we had a guy, Jerry Nash, this morning, who drove me and told a story of working 3 consecutive years without a day off. And he finally just took a day off, and we shouted him out earlier. So thank you. Shout out to Terry down at the post office. Again, that's the main one downtown. So Terry, thank you for what you do. And we'll take care of her with some Beatrice Baker. We're talking wrestling. So I'm a big grown man baby right now.
You're by.
Yeah.
You're by.
She knows exactly what that means. That I'm in the space. Okay, so texters to do this, that you can put in your one rivalry that makes the list, but you only get one. You only get one. Texter says, okay, this is Ty. Ty says that's got to be. He says Snuka Piper. Because this is the one where Piper hit Snuka in the head with a coconut and broke it. And this, what was the match that led to Snuka climbing the top rope? Was that it? Was that? For some reason, I thought that was like Bob Orton or somebody. But who did Snuka dive off the top rope and land and splash? It was Madison Square Garden. I want to say it wasn't Piper though. And
I don't think
it
I'm
could
gonna
have
be
been
any
great.
help for you.
No. I can find it. Here it is. It doesn't take me long. Don Morocco.
You know what you're looking for.
Don Morocco, Madison Square Garden. The magnificent one, Don Morocco. Great wrestler, an underrated wrestler. We don't talk about Don Morocco enough. He may have been the greatest intercontinental champion ever. Greatest guy that never won the big belt. Him and Ted DiBiase are like 1 and 2 for guys who were dominant with their belt, but they never got to win. Okay, who is this? I'm trying to see it. He literally climbed to the top of the cage. Yeah, I think it's Don Morocco. It's either Don Morocco or that's Morocco. Yeah, that's Morocco. Well done. Good to know. That's good stuff. Yeah, thank you. That's good. Thomas, Thomas he shouted out Gail Kim and Velvet Sky, but nah, and even in the women's circle, so the greatest rivalry has to be, no, it's not. It's the jump off for great rivalries. The Fabulous Moolah and Wendy Richter that's the Ronda Rousey, Misha Tate of the WWE, because that put it out there where people would pay good money for a feature that was women's wrestlers. And Morocco, Famous Moolah never really had a rival until Wendy Richter. As a matter of fact, so much so that when she gave up the belt with Cyndi Lauper's help, that Moolah didn't want her to keep the belt. So Wendy Richter didn't know that they put a mask on Moolah and gave her the belt back and didn't tell Wendy that they were going to take the belt from her.
Oh.
Like literally the referee counted 3 and Wendy kept fighting because she's like, well, no, that wasn't a 3 count and I'm supposed to win. So what the heck's going on? But if you go back to Trish Stratus and a whole realm of people, right? Those folks were in that place because Trish Stratus and her Lita and her rivalries. Lita was the first wrestler.
Mhm.
Lita was the first.
I've never forgiven Lita for her betrayal from the Hardy Boys to Edge.
Right.
I still can't.
Right.
I'm sorry.
Like you really but that was such a big deal because it was actually real.
You can't do it. I can never.
Like it was
forgive her.
happening in real
Yeah.
life.
I cannot forgive her.
Like in real life, that was what was happening. Right. So Eric says Rock versus the Nation of Domination. The Rock's greatest rivalry has to be Stone Cold.
It has to be.
It has to be and Stone Cold has to be The Rock.
Mhm.
So I think that's a top 3.
Those two were like my intro to wrestling and the reason I stayed with wrestling for as long as I did. Like
Right.
it was The Rock and it was Stone Cold Steve Austin. Like those two, like, you know, I'll name a bunch of other wrestlers, but those two are like the pillars of my wrestling.
Right. And this texture is right that Stone Cold versus Vince McMahon has to be one of the greatest rivalries. So if you're going to remove Rock versus, you can put Rock against several people. Matter of fact, you really could put Rock against several people. Stone Cold versus Vince McMahon was a
when
thing.
he drove the beer truck.
Yeah, like
just sprayed the entire ring with beer.
Right.
Good times.
So through that, yes. I'm going to shout out a few, and you guys can tell me which ones resonate with you. And I'll keep the greatest rivalry of all time to last.
Okay.
And let me tell you how strong the list is. That Undertaker versus Kane, which is
it's a good one.
That's a strong one, right? Because they battled. Yes, they teamed up and became the Brothers of Destruction, but the rivalry for its run, and it was a 6-year run of them just getting at it, right? Because Undertaker was unbeatable, like he was dead man. And then their run of 6 years and going back and forth, that's pretty strong. Hulk versus Andre, where what I didn't like about it was that it took Andre, who was a babyface for all of his career, and turned him into a heel for Hogan.
Yeah.
I didn't like it. I don't like it. Like I still have a bad taste in my mouth because Andre was the GOAT hero of all heroes. Right? He just was.
I don't think he could ever be. You can't really ever consider him a bad guy.
Right. Like it just didn't make sense.
Even in The Princess Bride, he turns out to be good.
Right. It's there. It's like I don't even exercise. John Cena versus CM Punk was so good. One, because it may have been the best microphone battle all the way back to the GOAT microphone battle, which was a rivalry that ran long and deep. Ric Flair versus Dusty Rhodes were the greatest promos in wrestling history because they went after each other. And remember, you didn't have all the in-between shows and you didn't have the internet. So you waited 7 days to hear Flair
What's he going to say?
and Dusty go at it. Go at it. Hogan versus Savage. Exceptional. Hogan versus Warrior. Macho versus Warrior.
Macho.
Right?
You want to talk about a guy who could give you a promo.
John Cena and Edge. And this was the making of Edge. That's the making of Edge. That's when Edge left Christian and became the dude. Like, if he doesn't go at the level match Cena Mike for Mike, he doesn't become world champion. Pretty strong.
The hair flip's still annoying.
Current rivalry number 1, Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns, and the run on this thing has been exceptional. It's basically been a 2-man battle for 4 years. Like that's all there is. Sorry to the rest of WWE, but currently no. Tag teams, there's a bunch. Hardy Boys versus Edge and Christian versus Dudley Boys, but I'm old school. I go all the way back to the Rock and Roll Express and the Midnight Express, the greatest exhibition of actual wrestling between whatever version of the Midnight Express you got and Bobby and Ricky, right? Like the Midnight Express was exceptional. And then Midnight Express versus the Road Warriors. But the Road Warriors versus Ivan and Nikita, and then here's the one: Road Warriors versus the Four Horsemen. Top level rivalries that the storylines ran deep. They ran hard. Brett versus Stone Cold in the I Quit match, where literally the scene where Stone Cold wouldn't quit and blood's running down his face.
Yep.
And that's what they close out to. People talk about Flair and his greatest rivalries, but his greatest matches were against Ricky Steamboat. Flair versus Dusty was just literally the best mic work that you could have. Taker versus Mankind, which I mentioned before. Triple H versus Shawn Michaels in the break.
Say it was short,
right?
But it was
Hollywood
intense.
Hogan and Goldberg, because Goldberg was the only thing that was going to break up the NWO. All of that in space as well. I will give you my number one when we come back.
Watch live on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch. You're listening to One on One with DP on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Warhorse Casino is bringing winning opportunities to Lincoln. Get in on the action at our next job fair, Tuesday, August 9th from 3 to 7 at the RBC Event Space, 5721 Johanna Road. We are hiring trailblazers in every department: beverage servers, slot, custodial, security, and more. Every employee is treated like family, and every role is essential in creating a one-of-a-kind experience. For information on openings and job fairs, go to warhorsecasino.com.
At Venue Catering and Events, we offer two of the most historic ballrooms in Lincoln. The Jasmine Room, located in the historic Grand Manse in the heart of downtown, featuring a beautiful built-in antique bar, spacious patio, and soaring skylit ceilings. The Scottish Rite Ballroom, located just 2 blocks from the state's capital, boasts intricate hand-carved columns, rich dark wood floors, and lavish chandeliers. The perfect venues to host your wedding, corporate event, or much more. For availability and more information, call us at 402-603-6483.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Coppell Chevrolet GMC, and things are cooking in Louisville. Right now, our pre-owned sales are off the charts, and we have loaded up the lots full of inventory. We've got a great supply of Sierras, Silverados, Tahoes, Yukons, and crossovers. Plus, we've got a great supply of back-to-school cars just in time for the big day. Don't forget about all of those new 2022 and 2023 units arriving every day as well. So please take that short, money-saving drive down 144th Street or shop online at CoppellCars.com. You'll be glad you did.
Please enjoy these next few moments of relaxation from Scott and Greg at Mendoza Family Insurance. If you would like to feel this relaxed about your home, auto, business, life, or commercial property insurance, please give Scott or Greg a call today at Mendoza Family Insurance.
On the block with Stricken Bach.
He obviously played against MJ when he was with the Bulls. Could you tell when you guarded Wizards, MJ, that it was different than Bulls?
I mean, he still was crafty. He still was very cerebral, still had great hands. So his post-up game and his mid, all that stuff was still efficient. You know, his actual pump fake game was even more effective. He just didn't have that same first burst.
Weekdays from 4 to 6 on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Start your Sundays off right with Jeff and Nicole Essink on Fitness Fanatics. Jeff and Nicole discuss health and wellness, how to achieve fitness goals, and more through the life of gym owners and gym goers. It's Fitness Fanatics from 9 to 11 a.m. on Sundays on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Swing for the fences with single game tickets to see Lincoln's best lineup on and off the diamond. The Salt Dog season is stacked with reasons to spend your summer at Haymarket Park. Get a free general admission ticket when you donate 3 non-perishable food items on Triple Play Tuesdays. Eat $2 Fairbury brand dogs on Wiener Wednesdays. Score drink specials on Thirsty Thursdays. Then win your weekend with Firework Fridays, Souvenir Saturdays, and Sunday Family Fun Days presented by Casey's. Get tickets at saltdogs.com.
93.7 The Ticket. Fox KFXL weather. Sponsored by John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning.
Your Lincoln forecast for today, sunny and hot. It'll be a little breezy out there, too. We'll see a high of around 97. Tonight, mostly clear skies. We'll be staying warm with an overnight low of around 79. And tomorrow, mostly sunny skies in the forecast again. Breezy and even hotter tomorrow. We'll see an afternoon high of around 102. I'm meteorologist Kyle Klecker for 92.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
I grew up hearing that women are bad with money. But like many of you, I spent years paying bills, managing checking accounts, and taking care of my family. So turns out women are pretty good with money after all. And now I'm taking control of my financial future by saving for retirement. It's never too late to start, and there's a great website to help you. Check out WeSaySaveIt.org and jumpstart your retirement savings on your budget and your timeline. That's WeSaySaveIt.org. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
You're listening to One on One with DP, sponsored by Mary Ellen's Food for the Soul on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Oh, turn that up. That's so appropriate. That's so appropriate. Face paint. Muscles pumped. Strings on the arms. Way too tight tights. Biggest hair. Sprint to the ring. Run around the squared circle. Oxymoron. Into the ring. Shake the ropes. Squared circle. Raise your fist to the gods and say your name as only you can say it. Justin, great super text. Great super text. Greatest rivalry. Justin says Georgie Animal Steel versus the Turnbuckle. That, my friend, is an exceptional. That is an exception, sir. That's an exceptional text. Rico, set the mood, baby.
If you smell what the Rock is cooking.
Okay, is he the only person who can do the raised eyebrow?
Yes.
Can you do it?
No.
One
not
eyebrow?
Like I can do this?
No. Yeah.
It's not
no.
the same.
No.
He can control his eyebrows independently.
Yeah. Like, no, it's just weird.
That dude sold all of his moves to the
Greatest
degree.
seller. He and Shawn Michaels were when they were on their cell. They were great. What else you got, Rico?
Well, I paused it right when it's an eyebrow raise.
Yeah,
I love
right.
it. I love it so much.
Right.
One of my favorites.
Uh-huh. If you're a badass, and you know you're a badass, this is what you walk into work playing. Just put it on your phone. Just put it on your phone and walk into work.
Don't break any glass.
No. Well, you could, but you're going to pay for it. But no. This is when you walk into. This should be everybody's theme song, or when you pull up for a date, just let them know.
Yeah. Austin 3:16.
Right.
Because Stone Cold said so.
Right, like, right. Oh my goodness. All right, here we go. Rico.
I love it. Okay. We're gonna take a little.
We're so childish.
A little dip, but not really a dip.
Okay. When you walk that aisle, only. Spin in the road, show them all the magnificence. And you ask them all, we sold out the arena again. What's causing all this? I grab your ankle because I'm about to lock your knee up. And I tell you, now we go to school. Oh, we're not having any fun on a Friday. My apologies to you all. Rico, give me one more. Give me one more. Give me another.
Here you go.
Come on.
It's time to play the game. Time to play the game.
Show me all the veins in your neck.
That laugh.
Get your bottle of water. Stand on the edge of the ring. Fountain that thing out.
It's all about the game. And how you play it.
I'm not sure there's ever a song that matches a personality, a gimmick better than
it was perfect.
Right?
Who's gonna make it?
Deep. What else you got? You got one more.
One of my favorites.
You got one more.
I have two more.
This is a
actually.
jam. It's a jam.
I have two. One of my
this one's
favorites.
a jam. Come on. Come on.
been everywhere. Didn't matter.
You know one of the ones that we can't play that's one of my favorites?
Which one?
Do you remember he would come to the ring with a mannequin's head? And the entrance to the song would go, "What does everybody want?" He would raise it to the sky.
I don't remember that.
You don't remember
No, I'll have to look that. Who
that?
was that?
It's so good. It's so good. I'm gonna make you search that one out. You have one more.
I do have one
because
more. This one was requested.
This was a request, and this is one of my favorites. So give it to me.
You're looking at the real deal now.
You got to shake your head to this one, like the Watanabe brothers. D'Lo Brown was coming in, he'd shake his neck, and he had the greatest walk. The greatest shimmy. Yeah. What you gonna do about it?
He's shaking his neck so violently.
Oh my goodness, my goodness, my goodness. I want to say this: the top two rivalries in wrestling fall down to this to me. One, it is in fact Bret Hart versus Vince McMahon. And go deep into the real life of what happened, right? That he lost his brother to a gimmick and lost his belt to policy. But the greatest rivalry of all time is the WWE versus WCW Monday Night Battles, the greatest rivalry ever. We're short on time. I thank you guys for allowing us to have some fun. Al Snow is correct. I knew that Chris Raff would be the one that pulled that out.
I'll look it up.
Oh, yeah. You got to play some. Captain Show up next on 9th. Dig it. Have a great weekend, everybody. Love you.